On Saturday, May 24th, the IBF Featherweight title was being contested in the wee hours of the morning U.S. time because the championship battle was taking place from Osaka, Japan, where Angelo Leo was taking on Tomiko Kameda. This was a fight that, if you had the chance to get up early in the hours of May 24th, you had an opportunity to see a very good fight between two men who had offsetting, contrasting styles. And it was a battle well fought. I mean, at the end of the day, we had a chance to see a champion rise, because until you defend your title, you're just a title holder. And once you begin to defend your title, you can have a reign. And once you've established a reign, we consider you a champion. Let's talk about this fight. Kameda challenging Angelo Leo was a great opportunity for boxing fans to see two combative forces get together and establish something that boxing fans crave. We're talking about battling on the inside, being forces of nature, being physical, being combative. That's what it was between these two men. And there could only be one winner, although it was established early from the intros that things were being aligned for Kameda to be the new champion. They pulled an old trick like they did with Larry Holmes against Jerry Cooney back in '82, when Kameda was introduced last and the champion title holder, Leo, was introduced first. Kameda was presented in the ring prior to the fight flowers, which they usually adorn the champions with in a victory. So it was a little bit of counting the horses after the cart. Yeah. But leave it to Angelo Leo to represent. Coming out of Albuquerque, this fighter established himself in this fight that he would not be denied. And so he took all 5, 6, and 68.5-inch reach of himself and presented it straight away at Tomoki. And Tomoki, who entered the ring 33 years of age, 5'7.5" with a 67-inch reach, and having had pretty much as many knockouts as Leo has had fights. This gentleman, whom they call El Mexicanito, fought like a Mexican type fighter. When he entered the ring, he brought his record, like I said, of 42-5 with 23 knockouts. He's a formidable fighter. He's very strong at the weight. He had challenged at super bantam and bantamweight earlier in his career. And this was supposed to be his win. Thus is why they came in and presented him with flowers, introduced him last. They set this fight up where they offered Leo enough money to come over to Japan to defend his title, and they were looking at easy pickings. But they underestimated the titleist in Leo. Leo came in, his record 26-1 is now what it stands after winning, with 12 KOs. What I like to say about fighters like this, you just don't know how good they are until they are challenged. And the thing about Leo is, when he won his world title, it was not a gimme. Leo had battled straight to the wire until the abrupt end against Luis Alberto Lopez, the previous title holder, stopping him in the 10th round with a blazing left hook to the chin. Not noted for his punching power, but he's still a strong fighter and a strong puncher. Alberto Lopez was counted out. The ref needed to not even run a count, though he attempted. Ernie Sharif stood over him and was counting, Lord knows why. So, Kameda and his camp felt like if they could just get this fight to Japan, seeing that Leo hasn't had much feet on the ground as the world title holder, let's catch him now before he establishes himself, and then we can finally get that coveted world title. That was not the case. Not only did Leo show a competitiveness in this fight, he showed a headiness that allowed him to not just engage in toe-to-toe blazing action, which the Japanese probably thought he was going to do. No, he boxed, he fought, he circled, he moved in and out. He showed such versatility that at moments I could see the frustration in Kameda. He wasn't expecting that. He thought he could lure the champion into toe-to-toe action where he could prevail by impressing the judges with mauling, pushing back, using the headbutts and spears like he's known to do, and overall his strength. But Leo proved to be more of a heady fighter. He was able to reestablish the jab in moments, stepping back from the in-play action and circling, doubling up on the jab, moving left, moving right. I really admired his ability to adjust because he fought on his terms. And that was an excellent thing to see. Now, when you think about him fighting on his terms, what that meant was the judges weren't able to just mindlessly give rounds to Kameda. What happened is they had to take into account that Kameda had no answers for that lateral movement and that working off of the jab. On the inside, yes, they were giving him credit for that work, but they couldn't give him the fight. And so we saw Angelo Leo successfully defend his title against Kameda. And coming away with this particular victory, what it says is he's a better fighter than advertised, and he's a better fighter than many people thought just because of his knockout win over Lopez. The judges read off scorecards of 116 to 112, 115 to 113, and one particular judge, Richard Bluin, had the fight 114 to 114. So though the cards were close, and it was in Japan, think about if it was just on Western soil. This would be unanimous. But I could see the play here. It has happened so many times. Even the fans had it 116 to 113. But Angelo Leo separated himself. He showed himself to be a title holder, and now having defended the IBF title, he's a champion. And I hope that he has an opportunity for more defenses against people who may look at him and think that he might be an easy opportunity in the future because the fight was close in Japan. But not many fighters are able to go to Japan and come back winning and having won. Remember Stephen Fulton, who gave it a try, going over against Monster Inoue? See, Fulton's a good fighter, but Monster in that environment was just that, a beast. And so he was able to prevail. I liked what I saw out of Angelo Leo. I respect him. I take my hat off to the young man because he established something that many a fighter can only dream of, and that is to be a world champion, where you can go different places where you've never even been before and fight in an environment that's unfamiliar and still get the job done against a challenger from anywhere. I like that. It's the way that I recall boxing being. Salute to Angelo Leo. What do you think? This is Stormy B-Man. Shout out to the mighty LDBC and Liberated Perspective, a third eye view of the world. For more content such as this, please like, comment, subscribe, and share. Leave comments and let's discuss further. Let me know if you have watched Angelo Leo and what do you think of his talent and ability? Do you think he can hold on to that title for a while? Leave comments and let's discuss further. Peace to everyone out there, and everyone please remain safe.